Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the, I don't know, like 15th installment of Beer Freaks. After like a 6-month hiatus. It's been a crazy 6 months. But excited to be back and excited to be doing the first ever virtual Beer Freaks. And today I have some awesome guests in the midst of this really, really weird situation. One is actually my former manager and good friend, Oren, who drinks usually pretty shitty beer, but we can get into that later.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Yep. I appreciate that. I feel like I've got an ally here. And then we've also got James, his cousin, who used to work at one of the biggest beer stores in Canada, apparently. So we've got a lot, I think, to talk about. So, ladies and gentlemen,
you got it.
Welcome to Beer Freaks.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Stu Hawk, and this is my podcast about all the weird, crazy, spooky things that scare me and my guests, and the one thing that helps us forget all about them. Ladies and gentlemen, Beer Freaks. Dun, dun, dun. And
Glad to be here.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Well, just glad to be here, Stu. Thanks for having me, man. Oren got me onto this, and I thought it was a pretty cool thing. I am right now in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada.
Ooh.
Well, I'm actually in
Northeast.
Beaver Bank.
Is that a
I'm actually in Beaver Bang.
That's the name of my little
Is that a
town.
real
It's
place?
That is
And
a
he
real
lives
place.
on Schwinkter Crescent.
Yeah, I live on Sphincter Street.
That's right down the road from Colon, Idaho, right?
No, it's down by Ballsack Way.
Well, what about Taint Drive? Do you know anyone on that street?
It's a
No,
short
but,
little stretch. It's a short little stretch.
It's very
No,
short,
man, it's
very exclusive.
It's a
sensitive people
pleasure
there.
to be here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about beer. And kind of like you said, I mean, I was involved in the beer industry for almost 10 years of my life, and I'm not involved with that anymore, but it's near and dear to my heart. And I absolutely love drinking cold beers and lagers. And actually, Oren, we can get into this later, but I invented a character about Oren. How many years ago? About 12 years ago?
Shit.
I lived in Toronto, so it was about 12 years ago.
Yeah, and it's the character was based around a muscle-bound, ski suit wearing, lager drinking dude. So
Muscle.
Muscle
Quotes.
bound,
Air quotes, just for the people.
lager
yeah,
drinking.
muscle.
I mean, like one of those things might be accurate. I don't know.
well, apparently it's on YouTube.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to send me the link. We got to find this.
Just Mr. Ski Suit, man. We'll talk about it later.
We'll
Leave that for another time.
We'll put the link in the episode bio.
So James, what are you drinking?
I am
We got here,
drinking
guys.
right now. You know what, boys? There are different types of beers. There are the shitty beer when you're like got friends over and you don't really like them and you don't want to crack into your good stuff.
It's the send you home beer.
There's the Sunday afternoon watching the game, couple of good beers, and right now I am enjoying a Gahan Blueberry Ale.
Ooh.
This
Blueberry
is a wheat-based beer with a hint of blueberry. It is 4.5% alcohol volume.
Okay.
Is it vegan?
A little lighter guy. A little lighter.
It's lighter, and you know what? It's one of these beers you can have 3 of them, and you don't feel like Oren.
Fair enough.
I can dig it.
It
Well,
gives you hemorrhoids, though, right?
It would give you a good dump in the morning too.
The two of those combined is not a great thing. Wait, so Oren, who was the guy who you went like fishing with when you went up to Nova Scotia, or not Nova Scotia, when you went back home to Newfoundland, and they were doing the every other beer was the non-alcoholic beer?
Oh, that's my brother.
Oh, that was your brother. Okay.
Yeah, so at his trailer, like, we get up in the morning and he'd cook breakfast and they crack one early. And he's like, well, you don't want to be drinking and get like soused by noon.
Oh,
He
sure.
said, so every other beer, he would pulse in the Heineken Zero, which, by the way, by far is the best non-alcoholic beer out there. If anybody does like just a taste of beer and just does, feels awkward opening one in the morning,
Yeah.
Heineken Zero,
Yeah.
no guilt, man, no guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but listen, man, if you're going to take the energy and the effort to crack a beer, it's got to be at least 4%.
Remember,
otherwise,
James?
you're wasting your time.
Well, James, remember in Toronto those honey Laker lagers?
Oh, Oren. My
Fucking
God.
hangover city. The cheapest beer you could get in Toronto.
A lager gave you a bad hangover? I don't know how that happens. Those are usually like the hangover.
Ask
free.
James. Those honey tasted great.
It was like, and Stu, you got to realize up in Canada, I mean, it's not like down the States where you can go get a 24 pack of Bush for $14. Like cheap beer in Ontario or up in Canada for that matter. I mean, a 24 is going to cost you roughly about $45 to $50. So at this time, this is going back 10, 12 years ago, myself and Oren drank this shitty honey lager, which you could get 24 for, I think, $28. And we used to just
not even worth
crush them.
But it was hangover city. The next day you'd feel awful.
Wait, what's the craft beer scene like up in Canada? I mean, we're talking like I'm from the West Coast here. IPAs, everything is as hoppy as it can get. What do you guys drink up there? Like, do you guys have a big IPA scene?
Yeah, that's the East Coast of Canada. Everything is an India pale ale. I mean, have you ever had Keats?
No, I can't say that I have.
So
you had Moosehead though, right?
I've had Moosehead.
Yeah. So
it's not bad. It's not bad for a lager.
IPAs are big on the East Coast of Canada. The craft brew scene in Canada and the Maritimes for that matter. So the Maritimes being Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island. This beer, Gahan, is from Prince Edward Island, Canada. It's good, man, but it's I don't know, dude. I'm 43 years old, and it's gotten too kitschy. There's too many options, and I just like a good few staples of beer. I don't like having 1,000 selections.
It gets overwhelming, and I would also say, being originally a Californian, California has
You're from San Diego. Just tell him the whale's vagina.
That's right.
I
take pride in the whale's vagina. That's I grew up listening to Ron Burgundy. That was that was me.
But he drinks scotch though.
But well, yeah, that's true. But look, California just blows it out with hops. It's gone way too far, and I would actually agree with Oren on this because we've had many conversations about IPAs. Yep. It's gone too far. A little bit's pretty good. As soon as you go overboard with it, if you have to pucker when you have to take a drink, it ain't worth it. That's not a sipping beer,
Yep.
Now, if it's 12% and you're just going to get cranked after, one or two of those bad boys, that's a whole different story. But, All right. So what I like about this is normally this show, we're drinking the same beer in my garage or in my booth, which my booth is now gone. But now we actually have 3 different drinks that we're taking. So James, we saw yours. Oren, you got 2 different beers in front of you right now. I don't know if you're double fisting or if you're like just getting ready for like one after the other.
It's like I like wine, so I blend them.
Give me a break.
I'm just kidding.
Wine. You like wine? You drink aftershave if it was in front of you.
I got to hear more Oren stories. This
Aqua Velva. Hey, so given where we are in the state, the coronavirus, everything like that, I thought that when I went out and I panic bought, I stuck to what I knew and I stuck to what I love. And so what I have today in front of me are probably my 2 favorite or go-to beers that I could get access to. Obviously, being from Canada, there's a few other beers like I would mention. I love Steam Whistle. You can't get it here. Steam Whistle is one of my favorite beers.
I've heard of Steam Whistle. Never had.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's my favorite beer.
Good.
But I would say I'm drinking a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. It's like a go-to for me.
Can't go wrong with Sierra. It's good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's
Good
not
stuff.
overly hoppy, but it's hoppy enough. Good alcohol content to feel good about myself later, and no hangover.
Oren, does it make
really
make you feel hoppy?
Very hoppy.
Yes.
I'm very hoppy. And then, so the Pale Ale is great. And then, obviously when I get really nervous and panicky, I go right to the Guinness. That's my East Coast roots from Canada.
Guinness is good.
The Irish roots.
Yeah.
Just a nice tick beer, as we'd say.
Like drinking a sandwich.
Like drinking.
Like
although calorically, it's actually less than
Drink your
the
breakfast.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Just so we're if we're talking that way, it's kind of weird.
Boys, I just want to interject with a little story about Guinness. So
please. Yes.
Johnny Guinness.
When I worked for the beer store, and it's very true what Oren said about Guinness is actually one of the lightest beers you can drink, but the iron content in Guinness is through the roof. So much so that I used to have people who had cancer who were going through chemotherapy treatments. Their doctors, after they got through their treatments, their doctors would recommend they drank Guinness.
No shit.
True story, because it's like a Bock beer, if you know what a Bock beer is. Bock beers are very, very popular in Europe. And they're almost like a nutrient infused tonic. Back in the 1800s, the people would drink a Bock beer in the spring when they cleaned out their kennels to basically get all the nutrients and the health benefits of the beer. So getting back to that the little story about Guinness. I had quite a few customers come in who just finished chemo, and their doctors recommended they drink 4 Guinness a week.
4 Guinnesses a week.
Yep.
Not 4 Guinnesses a day, because that's way more fun.
I'm sure a few of the boys did, but yeah. But I mean, for real, that's it's funny. Oren just seeing that can there, and that it just reminded me of that. Like, it's actually a very, very healthy. In moderation, a good beer.
But didn't you even?
I hate the new white can though. I do. I hate
the new white can's stupid.
It should be black. I love it black. But
didn't you say, Oren, when Sarah was pregnant, didn't your doctor even recommend having like a Guinness as she got closer to like the date?
It wasn't her doctor. It was her friend's father, who was a pediatrician.
Okay.
I don't want to get out anybody, but he said to induce labor, a Guinness might help.
Wow.
And he wasn't opposed to
another
it,
health benefit. Pop that.
I don't know if there's any studies on that. I'm sure all the doctors would disagree and say flat out that I'm making this shit up. A beer that I'm missing though, I just want to call it. One of the things is when I find a good beer, I hold trinkets. And James, I never brought out, by the way, the glass, the Canadian glass, but this right, you can't see it obviously on the if you're Presidente. Yeah, my parents have a spot down in Dominican. Another great beer, Pilsner. So I do like Pilsners, and Presidente they serve at like almost freezing. So when they open it, it almost freezes over. Obviously, I have my Sierra Nevada opener because I'm a huge Sierra Nevada. And then what I really
fantastic, man. Still family owned, by the way.
Yes.
Is it really?
And, I've been in that area. I've never gone to that brewery, and I should. I really should. I mean, and then the final one is, as we talked about, is Steam Whistle. And so, Stu, I'm really trying to get us some Steam Whistle because you will love it. So I drink it so much, I get little trinkets. It's a Pilsner.
So Oren, Steam Whistle last year came out with an IPA.
Oh, did they?
And it is phenomenal. Wow.
I'm actually doing it up.
Well, actually, Stu, I'm in the process. I showed you that pot light or whatever the hell Oren calls it out. They call it out in Jersey. It's a pot light.
The sphincter light.
It's a sphincter light.
It's sphincter. It goes right in there. It goes right in the sphincter.
None of the listeners, like the 3 of them, are going to have any idea why we keep referring to sphincters. By the way, it's
Yeah, look,
You-
that the sphincter. I don't know about that, man. I don't know what's going on here.
It's called a butt plug, actually.
That's a big
But,
anus plug.
No, but it's anyways, I was out at my garage. I'm finishing myself and my wife were building a shop, and above it, the agreement we had struck was that if I built it, which I'm building now, and we're probably 4 months away from it being completed, I get the man cave above it. So I am tricking out the man cave. I've picked my favorite beer in the world. My favorite beer in the world, Steam Whistle, and I actually have all the openers. I'm doing the whole thing in Steam Whistle decor.
Nice.
So if I'm lucky enough to come back on at that point in time, I'll show you guys when it's all finished.
Yes, I'd love to see how this all comes together.
So
A good
Steam
drinking
Whistle.
area is very important.
So Steam Whistle, though, the funny thing is, it was in Toronto. When I lived there, it first started. So like about 12, 13 years ago,
Oh, so
they
it's
were
new?
down well, I mean, they may say 15 years now, but they were down, in an old
It's a
part of
relatively new
Toronto.
brewery.
It's called the
Yeah, but it's-
Roundhouse.
The Roundhouse. And that was where the trains used to come in.
Roadhouse?
Roundhouse, like a kick.
Not Roadhouse then.
No, not Roadhouse. No,
That's a bummer.
unfortunately.
Great
Anyways,
movie.
The trains used to come in
Great
for the
movie.
round. Yeah, I know. The girl, don't ever stop fucking me. That one?
You're my Friday night special.
But hey, another good Canadian, Jeff Healy, right? He was in that movie. He was the guy behind the chicken wire, the blind guitarist. He's dead, unfortunately, God rest his soul. But he had a blues bar in Toronto. Side note. But anyways, the Roundhouse was where the trains would come in back in the day, and they would basically spin the trains around. They'd put the cars on them, spin them around to go back out the track. And they were put some redevelopment in there. And Stu, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. Maybe I shouldn't be
What's going
seeing
on?
this. It's too bad. See, sometimes video sucks. And this is an example.
I gotta tell you, man, this thing popped right off. I think I'm gonna have to get a wine opener for this.
That's faux pas. I mean, maybe we'll go to a commercial break. There's lots of sponsors in the show.
Well, yeah, obviously, we do have to give the sponsors their time. So yeah, if anyone needs to take a leak right now, now's the time, because I'm gonna go get a wine opener to open this bad boy.
Okay. I'm good. I'm
My
good
blueberries.
because I'm
My
good because I'm
blueberries.
wearing a diaper.
That's why Jay-Z said, I came fucking prepared. I got a fucking diaper on.
You know what, man? I'm fucking efficient.
You're like that
Oh,
missus that drove from like Texas to Florida or whatever, and she wore diapers and then killed her husband or something like that. Remember? Did you hear about that?
No. People do that.
Well, no, she was in the military, man. She was like an astronaut. I don't know, man. I can't remember exactly. Anyways, we'll put a link to it. I'm gonna go get another one of these. Another one of these. So that'll be my 7th. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna fill up now in a second myself. But it is the Roundhouse.
Yep.
And I was in their beer garden. Have you been in the new beer garden, Oren?
Well, just hold the thought. No, I haven't. I mean, I was only there when it was new. I've seen it in there, and I love it. It's great. Hold on, give me 20 seconds. Let's get back on the air.
20 minutes. Need 20 minutes.
So Stu, what is your favorite beer
All right.
in the world?
I am actually pouring a beer I've never tried before, but from my favorite. It's a partnership, but one of the partners in this brewery, or in this, is my favorite brewer. So this is actually a partnership of Stone and Alesmith,
Okay.
both San Diego brewers. Stone is by far my favorite brewery of all time.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever had like Arrogant Bastard, or I mean, just Stone IPA is fantastic. They've got a Ghost Hammer IPA. They're very, obviously, again, California, very IPA centric.
Yeah.
But It's fantastic. They do everything well, and another one that is still independently owned. Do it. Do it. Oh.
Hey, bud. Hey, Oren. You don't want to have to go to the dentist nowadays.
And
Yeah, they're closed, I'm pretty sure.
my dentist sent a note out. He's open for dental emergencies.
Emergencies only.
That's it.
So you pop a tooth off trying to break a beer bottle open. I don't know if that qualifies as an emergency.
So you got that on video.
That's
Yeah,
right.
true.
Hey, cheers, guys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. And just so you know, I'm drinking this in a insulated cup to keep my beer cold because I like it like that.
How come you're not using a Yeti, man?
Because this is Costco's brand, and I love Costco. And they didn't pay me to say that, by the way. They didn't pay me to say that.
Because
Damn
this
it.
is Costco.
Wait.
I love
Wait,
Costco.
you can't advertise on my program, man. That's not
Yeah,
cool.
bud.
Like this isn't
Costco
an influencer.
in Costco I trust. Buy Costco stock, everybody.
Hey guys,
You
look
know
at
what,
this.
though?
This beast. Can you see that? 9.9%.
Yowzers.
Oh yeah. This is a
You're
beast.
gonna have like runny poop.
Why do they have it in a champagne bottle?
I don't know. Actually, my wife bought it for me a couple of months ago, and I almost totally forgot it existed because I was going to save it for like a special occasion. Then I realized that it said drink fresh, and I was like, oh shit, I hope it's not like gone bad. So I was a little worried about that first sip.
Put it up to the light. Let me see it. Let me see what you got there.
We've got the.
Let me see the nectar. Let me see the nectar.
But Stu, are you drinking right out of the bottle, or you didn't pour it in a glass?
Oh no, I put it in a glass. I got the beast. Yeah.
Let me see the color. No, I want to see the glass.
You want to see the look of this beast?
Ooh.
I don't like that glass. It's not a good beer glass for that.
Ooh.
It is a good beer glass because it's a fucking skull.
It looks like an alien.
The crystal skull. So it's an Imperial Doppelbock, and it tastes delicious. Actually, very good.
Hey, we were just talking about Bach beers.
That's what I was saying. I put it up to the camera when you were talking about that. So I guess maybe I'm getting some health benefits right now.
You are.
I feel healthier already. It's great.
And when you go to have your baby, it'll be good.
I'm due any day now.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. I drink heavy, So just baby's got to be ready.
10%, baby.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm gonna finish this beast tonight too. By the way, I got a happy hour with a few friends at 7:30. So basically, I'm just gonna keep rolling from now until then. It's gonna be great.
Well, I thought this was going until 8.
I hope not, because I only booked the Zoom meeting for an hour. So if I need to push it back, we need to figure that out quick. So all right. So we got the beers out of the way, and now we can enjoy a good conversation about what's scaring you gentlemen right now.
Yep.
So
Oren, step
freaking
up.
you
I
out.
got to grab a beer. Step up, Oren.
Oren.
Well, you know what scares me? And I'm not going to go to the coronavirus because that scares me, but I think we should come back to that at the end.
Okay.
I think if I was going to do this show and it was 2 months ago and I would sit down, what scares me the most and what relaxes me with my comfort of beer, obviously,
That's
is
here for.
I believe, and I'm scared that rock and roll is
Demon?
dying. Beam and gum. Wintergreen. That's Sleeman. That's like the 3rd biggest brewer in Canada.
Oh, there we go.
Right, James?
How is
3rd
that one?
biggest?
This is a Oren. They're actually owned now by Sapporo, which is a mega
Yeah,
Japanese
like the
beer.
second.
That's what I
biggest,
drink with
think,
sushi.
right? Interbrew is the biggest, and then I think the Sapporo group is the second biggest. Right?
Well, there's
No?
InBev, there's Interbrew, there's Sapporo. I mean, hey, there's so many conglomerates now, but this beer is I just cracked the Sleeman Original Draft. Pretty generic. It's like, I have a bunch of them in my fridge. 5%. But it's a good beer. It's a good quality beer.
Yeah. So what kind of beer is it? It's a lager?
No, it's just a draft.
A draft. No.
A draft
So
of
it's,
lager?
What's that?
Is
That's
it
a good
draft
question.
of lager?
That's a good question.
Out of the draft.
Because, I mean,
I don't
Guinness is a
think- no,
draft beer, but, I mean, like, that,
Yeah.
you know, it's still a stout. I think Sleeman's got a fucking marketing plan on you, man.
They
You know
pulled
what?
one
I
over.
think you're.
I bet
think
you.
you're-
I bet you it's the dregs in the bottles. They take all the like the pilsners, the IPA, and they fucking dump it. It's
That's
draft.
called a, that's called the Jersey
We'll fucking
Turnpike,
sell
by
it
the
to
way.
everybody.
That's called
All
the
I know
Jersey
is it's
Turnpike.
good. It's good. Oren, you're the guy buying the white cans of Guinness, so you don't got a leg to stand on.
It's
Yeah, they
true.
still sell the black bottles.
I can't drink Guinness out of a bottle though.
So,
Why-
Oren, what did you
why
say?
not?
What did you say you were afraid of 5 months ago?
Well,
or
you
something?
interrupted, man. You interrupted. I mean, like
You
you
came in hot with
thoughtless
the
prick.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But the Sleeman's was interesting, right? I mean,
It was good. It was a good coverage. But no, you said that you were afraid that rock and roll is dying.
it's dying. It's dead. It's dunzo.
Oren, it died 10 years
Do you
ago.
ever? Okay. Well, then that's my fear. I'm fucking scared. And here's the thing.
Dead.
Did you ever see the movie Demolition Man?
Yes.
Okay, you know when fucking Sandra Bullock turns on the radio and it's like, "Oh, this is the best song. Oscar, this is a classic." And it's like, "I want to be an Oscar Mayer
Oh, it was
wiener."
the advertising song.
Right,
The
and I
jingle.
was like,
The jingle.
"But that is exactly what music is today, and it fucking scares me. I hate it."
How
and my
do you
kids listen to it?
How do you listen to new music? Like, do you listen to like satellite radio, or do you, how are you keeping up to date? Or
It's tough.
trying to avoid keeping up to date? Because
Well,
I'll tell you my side of the story after this, but I'm not. I actually agree with you. But
You
I
could
just-
argue both ways. Do I get scared and avoid it? There's some truth to that. But when I try to listen, I like Pandora would be the one. But I would listen to like the Violent Femmes or the Talking Heads or and see what music's out there like that, right?
Yeah.
And then I figure out some new bands from that. But there's not a lot. There's not a lot of good storytelling in rock and roll type of music anymore.
Yeah.
And
Have you
that's
listened
what's
to
scary.
Greta Van Fleet?
Amazing.
I've heard a couple songs, but I wouldn't say I know them that well. But James, do you know them?
Yeah. They're a bunch of brothers out of Michigan.
Yeah.
And they're solid. They're a throwback to. They're like a cross between Zeppelin and Hendrix.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah.
It gives me
It's-
hope. It gives me hope. I'm telling you right
Okay,
now.
so I mean, I'll have to check them out a little more.
Listen,
and that's
boys.
thing,
The
it's so
fact
hard-
of the matter is, I agree 110%. Rock and roll died 10 years ago. There are isolated artists still doing it, like the Chili Peppers, who now release an album once every 7 years, it seems. By the way, they just got John Frusciante back.
he's back from rehab.
No,
He has
yeah,
no teeth left.
They brought him back into the fold, and even their lead guitarist, I don't know his name. He's a virtuoso, but he's an amazing guitar player. But they actually let him go to bring John back. But like the fact of the matter is, I think, Stu, I don't know how old you are. I know myself and Oren are roughly the same age. Almost mid 40s now, and
32.
You're 32.
You know what's funny? I'm actually at the exact average age when you stop listening to new music. I'm 33 years old.
Okay.
That's what studies find is when you stop listening to new music is when you're 33 years old.
Well, I stopped listening to new music when I was 17. Well, I also had the luxury of there's 6 boys in my family. I have 5 brothers. And my eldest brother, Mike would be 55 now. So like I had the trickle down effect where, it started with the Beatles and then the Stones. And then one of my brothers was into Def Leppard and Quiet Riot. And my other brothers
hell
into
yeah.
U2.
I'd break
Come
his
on, feel the
face.
noise.
Listen.
And then
They
Oren
don't
Young-
spell it cum.
And
They
then
spell it
Nice.
C-U-M. It's C-U-M.
important.
Just,
and
Very
then,
important
and then
distinction.
Oren Young, was one of the original headbangers, mullet, wearing a Metallica and, bright neon green across the bib of his hat.
James,
at
I
8 years
remember
old.
in St. John's when I came in from Cornerbrook and we were hanging out and I had my neon green Metallica hat on and we were out and James was like, "Can you take that hat off?" the skateboarders are going to beat the shit out of us.
Oh yeah.
And did they?
No. But James was worried.
They
He
thought
was
about
like,
it though. They thought
this
about it.
this could get ugly.
But you know what? Like my style of music is, I'm more into the Grateful Dead, Neil Young, Radiohead, Jack Johnson.
Neil Young, man. I've been
Jack
getting into
Johnson,
Neil
man.
Young again
I could send you that Bon Jovi video over and over again for saying that, James.
Jack Johnson's amazing. Phenomenal.
I disagree on that one. He look, if you're sitting on the beach,
I'm with you on this one, Stu.
That's fair.
if you're sitting on the beach and you're just having like a mojito, yes, Jack.
And you're
Johnson.
jacking off, maybe.
Yeah.
Especially in that case. Especially in that case. Cracking one up.
Well, I didn't say that. I did not say that, by the way.
No, but coming back to your point, boys, yeah, I think, rock and roll is dead. It died a long time ago.
But you know what gives me hope,
rock and roll,
though?
Like, so what is rock and roll? I mean, are we talking culturally or are we talking like sound? And then where did it fall off?
I think, and again, Oren, I'll let you jump on after I just get my point out here. I think it's a combination of factors. I think rock and roll is the ability of, a group of people to play instruments and play them well and collectively and produce a unique sound and then add great lyrics and that is just it's few and far between right now.
Yeah.
Nobody does it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we're at a point now where if you can see someone who can put a sound together and play some instruments, you're like, holy shit, that's impressive. In the 70s, I mean, that was the norm. You had to excel, you know what I mean? What do you think, Warren?
That was the show.
The only place where we differ a little bit is, for me, it's really about storytelling. And I mean, you look at bands that could tell, or even artists, because I don't want to limit it, because I mean, you got Bob Dylan, right? Great storyteller, not a great singer, not a great, he's not known to be like that. I think right now,
lay across my big brass bed. There you go.
Well, but there's a story where you can give you visual imagery of what's happening. Even the Tragically Hip, which is a good Canadian band,
I listened to a little bit of the Tragically Hip because of you, by the way.
There you go.
I'm a fan.
And
I'm a fan.
You got to be able to tell stories, and obviously not every story is going to resonate with everybody, but you should be able to listen. And nobody knows the lyrics anymore. Like even my girls will sing the song, they know the lyrics.
Yeah.
But they don't know it. It doesn't mean anything. It's just lyrics that just snap off a finger, and it's like, that's just too pathetic in my mind. And I'm like, and it's all about being able to sing in pitch and key. And here's where it comes back down to. This is what really gets me, is that people used to listen to vinyl, and vinyl had that soothing, staticky, feel to it, right? And now it's so perfect in a studio where the imperfections aren't there, that it's so polished that it becomes a commercial. And instead of actually feeling the artist, like I go back to like one of my favorite artists is like U2, right? And when he's singing that song Bad, I mean, apparently they only did that song like 5 times in the studio, and he's screaming it. And he's on key, but he's not the best. He wouldn't stand up against Michael Bublé, right?
Bublé.
It's the same thing.
Bublé.
It's Bublé.
Bublé?
Same thing with
John.
I'll use another band I love is Green Day, right? When Green Day sings about it, so I love the whole album Basket Case, but that was during my time, that resonated with me, so that's not fair. But like American Idiot, if you listen to Jesus Suburbia and the lyrics, I'm like, that's pretty fucking like interesting.
Listen
and I was older at that point.
Listen to
the whole album.
No,
The whole album is great. I mean,
straight through, it's insane.
But I could name countless artists, and Bruce Springsteen. I mean, I love Springsteen. and he's singing. And I guarantee you, Springsteen would be a guy. If he could write a song about the coronavirus, he's the guy I'd listen to. Like he's like would make me feel hope again, right? So, anyways, I think it's really around the lyrics. I think we've lost touch with lyrics that resonate, and this is why Stu, one of your favorite bands. I don't necessarily think they're the greatest artists, but I think Nirvana struck a chord with people about the way people were feeling, and none of this new music strikes a chord. It's just a jingle. It's just a jingle, and that's what rubs me raw.
Yeah, but you know what, boys? Another thing that you could throw into the mix there is we are so, as a society, as music listeners, our minds are trained based on social media platforms that everything is just filler. It's quick. We zip through it like we zip through our phone. And even with music now, nobody gives. Now, I mean, I'm not the one to talk because I don't listen to a lot of popular music. I don't listen to Pandora. I don't listen to any of the satellite radios. But I just get a sense that people now, there's so much content. It's so available that where the hell do you begin? And you just zip through it so quick.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've gotten in the habit lately of I'll put on an album. And I'll just listen to it, tip to tail, just to get back into.
That sounds like a very Canadian phrase, tip to tail. I like that. That sounds good. Oren had some good ones too back in the day.
I thought it was something sexual, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Oren, it surprises me that you never talked about American Idol in your rant about rock and roll.
I hate reality TV in general.
Oh, so do I.
I don't want to take it out on American Idol. I think reality TV has made us everybody want to be that 10-cent, that 10-minute wonder, that 1-minute wonder. It's like Barnabas and his circus, right? It's just that's what it is. Versus somebody that can connect with me and. So I don't think it's fair to point out just one particular American Idol. It's reality TV in general. Everybody wants their 10 minutes of fame. I'm like just be happy with who you are. And the one thing I will say, so James hit the nail on the head though. There's so much out there, to be fair to artists. If they don't catch you right away, it's tough.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of the coin is, I'm an artist and James and you, and if we play a guitar and we make a song, we can post it, we can make it published. And that's a beautiful thing. However, as well as I do, you need money to get marketing, to get heard. Well, even in this era, it's just a different stream. That's all.
It's totally true. And let me tie this a little bit into coronavirus, only because that's sort of like, but really. So one of my buddies, he is a PhD, lives in San Diego. He actually works for a company that's developing flu testing kits. And obviously they've now pivoted to coronavirus testing kits. And apparently they've been very successful in their tests or in their trials. So it's actually like been almost 100%. If it's a positive sample, it's coming up positive. If it's a negative sample, it's coming up negative. So they're ready to go to the FDA. They're like ready to. And it was funny because my buddy was like, we've got a great product and they're going to go direct to consumer. So they're actually going to sell it. That's great. So like, what are you guys like planning on doing? Because there's a lot of snake oil salesmen out there who are, doing this shit. He's like, well, our product's better. And I'm like, so
yeah,
like look, man, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, what you need to do is you still need to stand out in one way or another. And just because your product is better, who has more reviews on Amazon? Who has, better reviews on Amazon to start? Who has more marketing dollars to put behind it? And so like, I think it's just to your comment, Oren, at the end of the day, you could have the best, there's probably a great band in West Virginia right now. There's probably a fantastic rock and roll band there that no one will ever hear. And the problem is these producers, they're not in it for, I mean, I'm not trying to speak for them here, but they're not in it for music. They're in it for money. It's a job. right? You'd like to
Yep.
think that maybe there's a little bit of heart and passion for the genre, right? But like at the end of the day, if they're not going to make money, they're not going to invest their time and energy and their money. So, you know, if it's not catchy, if it's not like, so for instance, I listen to satellite radio anytime I'm in my wife's car. So we drove down actually to California today, which was interesting. We met my parents to get some flour, and because my wife wants to bake bread, they gave us like a 50-pound bag of flour. And,
Nice.
and anyway, so
Any cornmeal?
we got some yeast. We got some flour. We got a few other things, but anyway, so we listened to all the alternative station. I think it's number 36. It's whatever. And alternative music used to be awesome. Like, again, that's like you would have put Nirvana in alternative before you put them in rock, like
Yes.
20 years ago. Alternative music today, I'm like, I don't understand what this is. Like, a lot of it's like, it sounds like elevator music. A lot of it sounds like electronica. A lot of it sounds like, and I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like, and I don't want to sound like this old guy who's like not ready for a shift in music, but it doesn't tell, like, to your point, it doesn't tell a story. It's just beats and sounds. And it's like, what am I listening to right now? I'm not being told anything. I'm not being like, you know, you mentioned Neil Young earlier, James.
Yeah.
Great storyteller.
I've been listening to Rockin' in the Free World like on repeat for the last couple of weeks because that song like I think struck a chord with me.
Yeah.
And like especially during this time of lockdown, like I love it, and it just that's a song that tells a story.
You got to listen to Welfare Mothers Make Better Lovers, because that's where we're all going. In 6 months, everyone's going to be on welfare.
That's a great title. It's a great title.
Hard Times, another good song. That wasn't a Bruce Springsteen song, but I love his version of it. Hard Times.
Hard Times.
Yeah, Amazon Music's good. Every now and then,
yeah,
they can give you some good titles. That songs you never heard before.
That's actually how I found Greta Van Fleet. Was Amazon Music recommended it to me based on my my playlist.
You know, and so I love that, but it's also a double-edged sword because they'll never open your mind either, right? Like,
boys, I'm going to give Neil Young a little pitch. He
loves Sierra Nevada, by the way, just so we're clear.
Listen, man, Neil loves his lagers and his pilsners and his stouts.
And by the way, he's a good Canadian kid.
Well, he is. Omemee, Ontario. That's where he's from.
Attaboy, Neil Young.
But no, Neil is Neil is doing, he calls them the Fireside Sessions. And it's live streaming. He's done 2 mini concerts. And he is recently married to Daryl Hannah.
Really? No shit. Daryl fucking Hannah.
Splash.
Yeah.
I was going to say Splash and a few other good 80s hits, right?
Well,
Earth Girls Are
awesome.
Easy. Wasn't she in Earth Girls Are Easy?
I'm not sure.
Probably. But hey, you go, Neil.
Well, listen, man, Neil's former wife, Peggy, died last year.
Oh.
And I think him and Daryl hooked up, and I imagine she's still a fucking rocket. So, you know, but what's cool is, and how I know that is, I've watched 2 of his Fireside Sessions, and she is the camera woman, Daryl Hannah. Yeah.
No shit. So
Yes,
she's never getting on camera during this whole session.
No.
Oh.
No, it's just Neil walking around his backyard, wherever that is, and playing guitar and harmonic, and it's amazing. Give it a listen.
Do you know, I got the chance to see Neil Young before I left Toronto. This was about 6 years ago, and it was a 40 or 50th year anniversary of his show at Massey Hall, which is infamous, the one they recorded. And anyways, I seen that show with him, and it was pretty impressive. It was just him. He played the pump organ, and he just played guitar, harmonica. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, but Leonard Skinner says a Southern man don't need him around anyhow.
It was only a play on words. It wasn't serious. Say hi, Lou.
Oh, we got another guest.
Say hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Hi, Lucy. Greetings from
Lucy's-
Las Vegas.
And
They're in
Henderson.
Las Vegas.
Um,
Does Daddy like beer?
yeah.
Woohoo!
How old are you, Lucy?
Show him. 5.
5? Oh,
Lucy's
man.
a little shy sometimes, but that's okay.
I have a son that's almost 3.
Ooh. 3 years old.
Do you
So,
remember
boys,
being 3?
what were we talking? We were getting back to what are we afraid of? So Oren is afraid that rock and roll is fully dead.
Yes.
Stu, what about you?
Oh, well, this isn't about me, man. I'm the host. I'm afraid of everything. That's my whole purpose of the show. I watched a scary movie over summer and I couldn't sleep for like 3 weeks. It was terrible. So this is my catharsis, is seeing what other people are afraid of and understanding that a little bit more.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm
James,
afraid
but we can't talk coronavirus. We're gonna save that one to the end because COVID-19 is something obviously we can talk to.
Well, no,
that has them all.
something I think I'm gonna what I like to talk about in terms of what I'm afraid of right now is definitely linked to COVID. I'm not going to speak to stats or statistics or my fear of dying or anything like that, because hey, no one wants to die, and there's a trillion and one things in this world that could kill you. But I tell you what I'm just afraid of right now, and it's not afraid of, it's just I guess it's a general fear in the air. It's just that we are in unprecedented times, how we're feeling, how we're navigating life. And it's just weird, man. It's weird. I mean, I've been, myself and my family, my wife, we've kind of been practicing the isolation and the quarantine now for 3 straight weeks. If I was to tell you it's horrible, it's not. We live on a really nice property. We got a couple of acres. We're really busy with the kids and stuff to do, but it's just this thing that, we don't know what's going to happen in 6 months and a year. I mean, it's just a weird time. And I mean, Stu, to be honest with you, I don't even know if you can say it's a fear. It's something that's just weird. It's just, I don't know.
James, I'm totally with you, man, because it is like, I think it's the unknown. The same as a lot of people talk about like, oh, it's the same as the flu, right? It's the same as the flu, and obviously their data shows a little bit different, but it's not crazy different, right? But what's different is that we don't know. We don't know when it'll end. We don't know if summer is going to slow it down. We don't know if it's going to come back. We don't know if it's going to spread more. We don't know if it's going to, change. And we don't know if you can get it twice even. I don't think any, studies have come out to tell you if you can get it twice.
Yep.
So, I mean, all the best data tells us that it'll,
you can't get it twice.
Have you heard that? Have you gotten that confirmed? Have you had it?
You can't get it twice is what they're saying.
Well, Warren, they're
worried about the virus mutating, though.
If it mutates, but how quickly does it mutate? That's the question.
They don't know. That's the thing. They don't know. That's why they're using the blood plasma. If you look at what's the hospital in Long Island that was hit hard? Elmhurst. They're using the the people from who had the virus. They're giving them the blood plasma to try to give them antibodies. But they're worried that it is going to mutate. That's the problem with this whole thing.
Yeah.
But boys, one of the issues around this whole COVID is that essentially it's been in our vision for essentially 2 months. A lot of the information that's coming out, like Oren, they have reports in China that people have been infected twice. Yeah. I also read articles on the CBC, which is, Stu, that's our federal news body.
Yeah, Oren told me all about the CBC and the fact that they report the facts. It's the facts. It's not a spin. It's
just the facts.
We talked about this many times.
No, but like the CBC has reported, they've reported that in terms of shit, boys, I lost my train of thought. That's a good thing.
Sundown in the Paris of the Pyrenees. Knowlton Nash on CBC. Well, James, here's the thing: is that I don't trust anything that comes out of China, unfortunately, in this case, because I'm sure they're doing the best to give us what they can. So I don't want to. It's not the Chinese people that I don't trust. It's the government and the regime there. They're
Oren,
more,
If it was the Chinese people, you'd be a racist.
But Oren,
it's so true.
Oren, you can't trust half of the media streams that are coming out with all the facts and figures now.
Well, I agree. I mean, like you got the the Georgia governor coming out and saying he never knew that COVID could be transmitted. And I'm like, the CDC has been saying this, like your government's been saying this.
And by the way, the World Health Organization is based in Atlanta. Their U.S. location is based in Atlanta. So the Georgia.
Yeah, but they're based out of Europe though. The headquarters.
Well, I know, but the U.S. headquarters is Atlanta.
But I
like,
the WHO,
come on, buddy.
WHO is a little bit.
Just don't.
The WHO is a little bit like, who are you? No, I don't listen to the WHO. I prefer the CDC, which is an American-run organization.
CBS News just admitted that they used footage from Italy and dubbed it as a New York hospital.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So, listen, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of people who are benefiting from. Yeah, CBS admitted to it.
That's pretty shitty, actually.
But Oren, the fact of the matter is, this thing has been.
I'm going to Fox, never going back.
No. But this thing has been 2 months. This thing has been 2 months in the making, and the truth is, not a lot of people know anything about this fucking thing. If it's good, it's bad, whatever.
And that's why it's weird, Jan. Like, that's why I'm totally in agreement with you. Like, where are we going to be?
Freaky. It's like beer freaky.
It's beer freaky. It requires.
But it's like, but man, like I was saying, I've talked to a lot of my buddies and stuff, and it's not like people are like, "Oh my God, I'm scared of dying." It's like, just where the fuck is the world going?
What are we gonna be? How is consumerism gonna change? How are we gonna go shopping? How are we gonna go? Can we go out to eat in the fall? Are we allowed to go to restaurants? Like, what's gonna happen? Or is that paradigm gonna shift? Like, what?
Yep.
Like, or is every table gonna have to be 6 feet away from each other forever?
Yep.
I mean, it's a consideration.
Or, I mean, even our economy. Like, how the hell can, 3 out of 4 Americans and Canadians work from home and expect our economy to survive? For how long? Like, these are real things, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I think a lot of, I'm trying to phrase this in the right way, right? You don't want to sound.
I think can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, please.
But I think what you guys are talking about, though, is not the fear of COVID. It's the fear of the unknown in this.
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
As I'm saying, just be careful of because the economy could crater, the economy could not crater. We could all get it. We may not all get it. We may have to live 6 feet apart. We may have to wear N95 masks for the rest of our lives. But the reality is that you got to keep living your life. The reality is,
keep doing podcasts.
Do podcasts. You got to trust that there's science out there. So I read today that I think it was Belgians. I could be wrong on this. It was on Bloomberg. But they were studying basically wastewater.
Yeah. And
they can see the virus up to 12 to, I think it was 21 days, before, because they were studying COVID in people's basically shit. It was weird.
That's interesting.
Anyways, but there's people studying this stuff, and right now, what we're in against is a race against time. Is really what it's all about, right? It's a race against time. It's like, how can we find something to relieve the symptoms, which is like you hear about the hydrochloroquine, which is the malaria drug, and others. But also, is there a cure? Go back to HIV. right?
That was a terrifying time for a lot of people.
In the 80s, right? Late 80s.
Yeah.
Same thing. It was a virus. They now have like not a
I was a
cure,
toddler, but you know, I don't.
but they all have a concoction of drugs that can manage that situation. So, or cure it, right? So the question is, will we have a drug to manage the situation? Will we have a drug to cure it? Will we have a drug to help treat it? I mean, I don't know, but that's what we're in. We're in against a race against time right now.
Yeah.
And
Hey, you know something though, guys, we are in unprecedented times. I was there cleaning up some brush in between my property and my neighbor's. My neighbor Claire is in his mid 60s, and he was out in his yard, and
His name is Claire?
his name is Claire,
Interesting.
and he's a good dude. But we were about 15 feet
a
apart.
boy named Claire.
And you know what he said to me? He said something interesting. He goes, James, we were talking about, you know, current state of affairs and coronavirus. And he goes, James, he goes, I'm 65 and I have never lived through anything like this.
Yeah.
And I went, wow. And he goes, yeah. He goes, like, me and my wife, Jean, are terrified.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, so listen, guys, if we're, you know, Stu, you're in your early 30s.
What are you doing?
You're in your early 30s. We're in our early 40s, and you know what, man? People in their 60s and 70s are saying that this is so fucked up. So
yeah, well, and that's what we're doing this for, right? The likelihood that the three of us are going to get sick, and again, I don't want to downplay it because people already.
No, we'll make it. One of the three of us get sick.
But we could get sick, but we're really doing this a lot to make sure that we're taking care of the elderly.
That's right.
And you know, do you guys watch Bill Maher? I don't know if you watch Bill Maher.
I do from time to time. Yep.
So
real time.
I watched his episode last night, and it was from his home. It was very weird, but he did have he did a Skype meeting with Willie Nelson. And I mean, Willie Nelson's what, like 90? He's almost like 90 years old now.
Yep.
Like he's up there, man. And he is like that. That's a dude he's a Texan who is, you know, I mean, Texans are super independent. Like you can't tell a Texan what to do.
Yep.
Well, I don't know if he's a gun-toting Texan, you know, Oren, to your point, because he's also like a hippie Texan, you know.
Yep.
But still, don't tell me what to do. But he's scared. Like even he's kind of like, yeah, I'm not touring. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying at my ranch for the foreseeable future. So it's those folks that we're here to take care of, and you know, I think we all just got to pitch in the effort, whether we're the most at risk or not. That's what we're doing.
But you know, though, I agree with you. But you know that this is 10 times more deadly for even us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, totally.
Than the flu. Sorry, than the flu. Just real quick.
And I've had conversations with the nurse. We actually, one of my buddies is dating a nurse, and we had a happy hour last week, digital happy hour. And
did she wear her outfit?
She didn't. You know, I think she's ready to get out of it as soon as possible. But what she talked about was that, like, what people aren't really saying is that if you go to the ICU, what happens to your lungs? Because you imagine your lungs as this like spongy tissue, right? Mm-hmm. That's sort of like the makeup of it. Is if you get this and you get it bad, then it actually fucks your lungs up for the rest of your life. You could be you could have as much as 30% reduced lung capacity for the rest of your life. Now, they don't know that for sure. They don't know if you come back, but it doesn't look like it does based on early results. So it's no joke. If you're a 30-year-old or a 20-year-old, maybe you won't die. Maybe you'll live through it. But look, your lungs, do you want 20 to 30% reduced lung capacity for the rest of your life?
Do you want lungs that like you smoked for 30 years?
That's right.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
Without smoking.
Yes. So that's the shitty thing. And that's why they say, like, look, it's the elderly who already have reduced lung capacity, and it's people with pre-existing conditions. So those people already have 70% of their lungs left, or 60% of their lungs. Yep. You take another 20 to 30% away. Well, you can't breathe anymore. So
That's right.
That's what they're talking about is like, but what I found crazy about that, and to be honest, I still haven't fact checked her, a week later. I'd like to learn a little bit more about this, but what I find interesting is that they're not talking about that, because I think that would be enough to scare some people into, okay, shit, maybe I shouldn't be going to the beach right now. Shouldn't be going to spring break right now. I would like to have 100% of my lung capacity, but they're not saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, man, it's just, it's so overwhelming. And again, I mean, if you're patched into Facebook and Instagram and whatever other platform, everything
Fuck
coming
Facebook.
at you, and even I find some of the content is like
Buy your Costco.
30-year-olds dying and 10-year-olds dying and stuff. I think it's all pointed to get you to stay the fuck in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got to stay in. You just got to stay in. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Everyone's sort of making their own decisions at this point. I think people are getting a
what's
little
scary.
smarter.
So Stu, not to turn the mic on you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to turn the mic on you.
Do it.
And I know you're more of a Democrat than a Republican, which is fair. But what I struggle with is the U.S. would have more buying power as a union, right?
Gust of wind.
Gust of wind knocked my Guinness empty can over. But we're stronger as a union together, buying power, right? And if we don't act that way, Canada, who's like 30 million people, the size of California, we'll call it, right, can actually outbid and be competitive. I don't mean this in a negative way to Canada because I'm Canadian, but it could be Germany, it could be France, and so why is it that the federal government hasn't played a stronger role in the U.S.? The U.S., it seems to me, in this crisis, because I have only been in one crisis in the U.S., it seems to be very
down
much
here during the 2008 crisis, right? Or no? You weren't
no,
here yet?
I wasn't here. No, I wasn't here yet.
Okay.
It seems to me that there's a lot of reliance on individual states.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, is that beneficial? And in a global economy, I know it's not beneficial, but why is it that? Do you have any perspective? And maybe there's no perspective. I don't know.
Well, so, look, I have my opinion, but I mean, either one of you two have just as probably good of an opinion as I have. Here's my thought on it right now is I think that Trump has built his presidency around the economy, and, we're going into an election year, and I think he is, he doesn't want to be the guy, so conservatives and Republicans run on state rights. So it's more and more about individual freedoms. That's what conservatives want. It's individual freedoms. So that means more state rights, less federal, requirements. And then on top of that, Trump knows that if he's the one who just says that it's a federal government shutdown, like we're shutting down all non-essential businesses federally, then it's on him. That the economy, you would like to think, look, Trump, we're not going to blame you for COVID-19. We're not going to blame you for this. We get it. But I think he's so stuck on the economy that he's just like, look, I don't want to be the guy. I want your governors to be the guys who shut down your state. So the economy, you can't blame the economy on me. You can't blame it on me. I didn't shut you guys down. Your governor shut you guys down. And Trump's great at spin. He's great at spin. So, at the end, I'm not trying to talk, negatively about, Trump. I don't think his response has been horrible. I don't think it's been good. I think, he did one thing right, which was the, Oren, you and I talked about the other night, the shut off of European travel and Chinese travel relatively early. But his response to everything else was pretty shitty, because he should have shut down federally a long time ago. Because here's the thing. You shut down San Francisco for 14 days, and then 7 days later, you shut down New York for 14 days, and then 7 days later, you shut down LA for 14 days. Well, everyone goes back to day zero when you do that, because we're all there are still like 7 states that aren't even on lockdown yet. And I don't mean lockdown.
9.
I just mean there's like
9.
There's 9. There's 9.
There's 5 states that don't, 4 states that don't have a federally, a mandated stay at home. I think 5 states, sorry. And then there's
What's the
9
largest
states
state?
overall. Well, all the big states have. It's really just in the Midwest, James. It's
basically
really like
everything that surrounds Louisiana.
Louisiana. God bless those people, man. They're going to get hurt hard.
Yeah, it's coming.
And Alabama. They're saying actually will have the highest. The models are saying the highest death toll per 1,000 people, whatever it is, but per
Is that
capita.
because of hospital capacities?
It's I mean it's economic wealth. It's
socioeconomic.
It's sad, and Louisiana is not much far, like I said, but like Wyoming, for instance, another state that's like defying. Like you get the Dakotas, Wyoming, Idaho are kind of like that. Utah has got like a somewhat restrictive policy in place. Nevada, we just went into stay at home and the 1st of April. So we did
it earlier. We did.
No, it's our stay at home order just came in April 1st, but we had a lot of restrictions. There's a lot of restrictions. Essential services.
Yeah.
But you know what essential services are, right? It's everything.
That has but yeah.
I learned that. I was like, why the fuck is everything still open?
Yeah. Well, but once the casinos in Las Vegas closed, I think a lot of people kind of got to the point of like, okay, we need to take this more seriously. And that was back on March 16th.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So not super early, but not late. Nevada did it relatively early for a state of our size.
Yeah. Oh, true. It's ultimately the big issues are going to come from California, Louisiana. I think Florida is going to get hit hard.
California's actually done pretty well with it though.
Well, they're out in front of it, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to
New York
spread, but to your point though, it's a time situation, and if we can slow it down. I know we're well off from a vaccine, but could we find any medication to slow it down or relax it a little bit, or whatever it takes? It could be weeks, it could be months. But if they do determine that malaria pill is the right thing, who knows? By the way, Mark has some of those malaria pills, so just in case anyone in your family comes.
Oh, listen, I know people who got the Z-Packs. I know people got the hydrochloroquine. I know people, but.
You gotta know
Nothing's been proven. I think the only thing you can do right now. So we made the choice last night. Was our last night. We had order in. So we would curbside pickup up the club.
Yeah. And
that was our last night. We're saying, okay, we're now for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna just shut it down. And until basically to the end of April, we made the decision now where we're gonna be like lock it down and see how it goes. So here, take a break, pause for a second for station identification because I got to piss.
All right, fair enough.
Can we do that?
I'm going to edit the video at the end of the day. So, yes.
Yeah. And I want to come back and I want to hear what really James is scared about other than just the coronavirus, because we're all scared about that. Let's be honest.
I'll tell you what I'm really scared of.
No. Hold that thought, dickhead. Let's end on a positive note, dickhead.
What's interesting, Stu, is Canada right now, as a country, is trending on the same curve as the United States.
I think I can hear him peeing.
What's that?
I think I can hear him peeing. Can you hear him peeing? Yeah, because he brought his earphones into them. That's actually capturing the audio.
He's gotta get that shit
hear him
checked.
peeing right now.
He's gotta get that shit checked.
Hot mic.
I think he's got a few pinches in his hose.
I got the clinch.
Fantastic. Keep it rolling, man. Keep it rolling. This is all going on the podcast.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
So definitely at least go in the blooper at the very end.
Wow.
Well, so now we all know what to do during a work meeting when we're on Zoom. Just did you guys see, by the way, the chick who brought her laptop into the bathroom with her during one of her work meetings on Zoom?
No.
Oh, you got to look it up. It's fantastic.
So what happens?
Well, she just keeps it on, and you can't see anything, like you can't see like the privates or like, but everyone can clearly see she's taking a shit, and she's on mute, and I think she pulled her like she can't hear that, like people are saying, Nancy, you're taking a shit right now, like you're still on TV, like we can still see you.
Oh man, kind of like Oren taking a beleaguered piss. Oh my god.
I think he's still squirting some out right now.
I don't know what he's doing, man. I don't know what that guy's doing. That's what you get for drinking Sierra Nevada and Guinness at fucking 4 p.m.
Well, there's an interesting choice, that's for sure. How about
what
this?
What are those pictures? What are those pictures up on your wall there?
Bad boys?
Yeah.
So I ripped these off of Instagram, by the way, and you can do that if you go into the back end code. It's great.
Okay.
Right. So I got just like some of the weirdest pictures I could find on Instagram, and it's really just meant to be, sort of like thought provocation.
Yeah.
Fucking light is too white, so it looks like this guy's driving down the road towards Earth. Almost.
Yeah.
Kind of fun. You got this guy right here, who is, way too close to the moon. You can tell that's the moon. It's like really
I thought they were just from my vantage point. They look like volcanoes going off in cities.
Yeah, no, it's just these random fucking pictures, and I went through like 20 of them because I wanted to find something that I just thought was sort of inspirational.
Yeah.
And interesting for like basically these beer freaks discussions, right? Something that was like sort of like mind, like whoa, what the fuck is that?
Well, I tell you, they captured my attention.
Yeah, well,
100%.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, it's funny. My son comes out here and he'll sit here with me sometimes, and so that's Daddy. So that's the guy who's sitting there looking at the moon.
Yep.
And then you can see that's Jackson.
Is that your son?
Yeah. So my son is Jackson. So he thinks that's him handing an umbrella to a robot.
Yep.
And then he thinks that's his mom. I don't know if you can see that one. Yeah.
Is that a mermaid?
No, it's just a woman with a really long dress who's like staring at a black hole.
Okay.
So it's
you got the whole family. You got the whole family album there.
For whatever reason, family here.
Oren, you got to go to your doctor, man, and get that checked.
You like that, boys?
Yeah, it sounded pretty good. Sounded pretty unhealthy.
Yep.
I thought I had like good power.
No, I definitely think you should get your pressure gauge checked.
Too much power, is it?
No, it was like a dribble.
Thanks, James. Thanks.
You know what it is the Sierra Nevada. It's not providing enough pressure. You need something with a little more octane, a little more IPA,
Yep.
You get that beast. You get like a 9.9 like this thing, it's going to be flooding out like a river.
You're basically going to shit when you piss.
Just take a turd. Why not?
Oh.
And that's why I sit down when I pee. Just in
No.
Just in case.
So, Oren, you wanted to know something? You said you wanted to hear my fears?
Yeah, like what about you? You know, like so James, I heard that like if this is a suppository kind of cure, you would not be up for it.
like for the sphincter.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. I mean, if I'm going to get better, I mean, you want to shove a football up my ass, do it.
But why would you choose a
or
football?
NFL?
Why would you choose a football? Why did you choose football? I was thinking like a hockey puck, but you know, like you go the whole.
We're just looking for sports.
I took it to another level. Boys.
It's like saying a soccer ball. I mean, like, come on, you know, like that's like birthing a child.
That's not even realistic. Not even real. You can't do that.
All of a sudden, we're getting serious. And
Maybe a golf ball.
How many dimples are in a golf ball, by the way?
374.
It's close. I think you're close. I think it's like 360 something.
No shit. That was a total guess. I've gotten much better at estimating.
Why do you drink them now, James?
Yeah, what do you got?
I got another Sleeman original draft.
I drank one Guinness, but I can go back to Sierra Nevada. Now I'm gonna
Warren,
go for
you're drinking. Why are like? I don't get you, man. You're out in your fucking backyard. It's 30 degrees, and you're drinking milkshakes for lagers. What's going on?
What do you mean milkshakes for lagers? What's he talking about?
I don't know what that means. I don't know. I will say, is he talking about 30 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That changes things.
Oren,
you gotta think Canadian here. You gotta double it and add 32.
why are you drinking such heavy beers in the middle of the day?
Now, Sierra's not bad.
Are you talking about Sierra Nevada or Guinness? What the fuck are we talking about here? Back off. Back the fuck off.
Isn't Sierra? Isn't that like 6%?
No, it's 5.2.
Really?
No, it's 5.6. Fact
Yeah,
check.
Oren.
Oren, come on, look at it, man.
Don't be such a
Pretty
bitch.
sure it's 5.6.
You're right.
Yeah. Hey, look, I wasn't shitting around when I said I loved a good Sierra, but 5.6 ain't bad. 9.9's bad.
And this is I was gonna say, hold on. This is the guy. But hold on. What's the difference between Canada? There's a volume difference. We had a dispute over this once. The Canadian beers. Come on, James. You should. Canadian beers versus American beers.
Well, it's alcohol volume versus
Alcohol by volume.
Yeah, it's just different. Listen, we could
It's
Google
ABV.
it.
It's ABV
Yeah.
in America. I know that.
Yeah, like we're 5%. This is alcohol by volume, and what is yours measured in?
I think it's alcohol by volume. So is yours based on a 12-ounce system?
Yes.
Well, so it should be the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There's a difference.
Well,
Oren, lift up your bottle and see the measurement. So yours is 12 fluid ounces at 5.4%. Mine is 355 milliliters at 5%. They're the same.
Yeah. So what are you giving me shit about then?
yeah, what's going on here? I feel like we're all talking the same language.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just taping up the lacrosse stick.
All right,
You know,
James,
I'd love to
your
get
biggest
my
fear-
CK book.
So James's biggest fear is that his lacrosse stick is going to break in the midst of this COVID-19.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll be
That's
ready
not
for
true.
you. I'll be ready for you.
That's fucking lame.
That's what Oren was asking, though. James, we got to get a true fear out of you, man.
One of my true fears.
What freaks you out? I mean, it can be weird too, man. It doesn't have
Hey,
to
hold
be
on,
like real
hold on.
shit.
Stu-
That 3 weeks ago, I showered minimum 5 times a week, and now I'm doing it once.
You know
that
what?
scares the shit out of me.
You know, they
what?
should be-
There's some truth to that.
Your
I'm not showering
family-
every day anymore. That's for
Your
sure.
family should be more afraid than you about that. That's
No, Stu, think about it for a minute. I have gone from a very rational, professional individual, and now I'm at home. I don't know what fucking day it is. I'm drinking at 3 o'clock. I can't tell you the last time I showered, and I'm taping up a goddamn lacrosse stick as I crush some loggers.
just because you know you're not going to play lacrosse for at least 6 months.
Well, you know something? One of the little beautiful things that's coming out of this is that I have more time with my son and my daughter.
Yeah.
And my son said, Dad, let's get out the lacrosse sticks and start throwing it around on the front lawn.
Nice.
James never
Yeah.
had a lacrosse stick until 2 years ago.
Really?
That's true.
It's a fantastic game. And it's a fantastic pastime.
Because nobody plays it in Newfoundland now.
No. Well, there's
That's what I'm
field
saying.
lacrosse.
Did you guys
there's field
both grow up in
lacrosse, box
Newfoundland?
lacrosse.
Yeah, we both did. We both did. We both grew up in Newfoundland, and but I was in the cool part of Newfoundland. James grew up in the bad part of Newfoundland.
I did. St. John's. St.
It's where
John's.
people sin. There's a lot of casinos, violence,
Hookers.
rape.
It's the Tatooine of Canada.
But you know what? We all sail together.
Hey, but look, Han shot first. We all know it.
Hey, boys, admit the fear of losing one's hygiene inadvertently is scary.
Can I see your teeth?
Like zoom in. That's the important thing.
I mean, when you're growing schmegma on your balls.
I gotta tell you, my father was the first person to tell me what schmegma meant.
Oh my God, that's a nasty lesson to learn for your father.
Never.
Oh, you old schmegma.
You don't want to learn what schmegma is from anybody. That's never a good thing to learn.
No, but not from your father for sure. That's like American Pie.
How do you spell schmegma?
Well, it's a Jewish term, right?
Yes. But how do you
So
spell?
I have no idea then.
Schmegma.
No way.
It's gefilte fish.
Gefelka? Gefelka?
Schmegma. Okay,
But
Google.
schmegma. You learned about schmegma from your father. It's just weird, man. That's just like.
Well, where'd you learn about schmegma from? I can't even imagine there's a lot of Jews in Newfoundland.
No, there's
wasn't.
not.
No,
There's not a
no,
lot
it's
of Jews.
Probably not a lot of minorities in Newfoundland.
It's just
No.
you're in after hockey. Some guys looking at your balls.
Schmegma.
Some dude made a trip to New York, learned the Yiddish term schmegma, and brought it back to Newfoundland, and then it just caught fire.
They did. It did.
Okay,
You know, we
boys.
should-
Here we go. Definition of schmegma. The secretion of a sebaceous gland, specifically. The cheesy
Gland
sebaceous
is
matter
a terrible
that
term.
collects between the Giannis penis and
I
the
used to
foreskin
eat
around
cheese.
the. Oh, you dirty schmegma, you. Oh,
I'd
fuck,
rather
boys.
talk about the taint.
The taint.
No, let me ask you this. Did you guys call it the taint, the bonch, or the chode?
Taint and chode.
Taint and chode. I've never heard the other term.
You never heard
Bonch.
bonch? Okay.
No.
So California, it was bonch. And then when I went to school in Arizona, everyone also said, I have no idea what bonch is. And so that's when I learned
That's a California term. That is totally loco.
it's all bonch. It's all bonch.
I think
out there.
taint is probably the best for it.
No, when I do my yoga, I say touch your taint.
Because it taints your asshole and it taints your ball sack.
And you take a ruler out and you measure in millimeters.
Oh man.
Well, but
Yeah.
sounds the worst.
Not inches. It's millimeters. It's like if you have like
Depends on the guy.
326 millimeter taint, that's impressive.
300. Wait. Is that your
Millimeter?
Is that your
millimeter?
Taint? Is that your taint size?
Hold on.
I mean, you knew that right off the cuff. I'm just curious.
It's a half a yard.
What are we talking about? Oren's taint.
This is what it devolves to when we drink this beer during.
Well, I
But
think
you're-
Oren and his lack of showering, the schmegman taint.
Half done.
Ooh. I like your
Yeah.
mic.
I was gonna get a mic.
Do I sound any better?
No, you don't actually.
Well, Oren, you were supposed to come over at some point and actually show me how this fucking sound machine worked, and you never did. So.
I
Yeah,
know.
Oren.
I was gonna get a mic out here to actually prop mic, but I was lazy.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that.
You know,
Boys,
anyways,
that's going to be the man cave when it's done.
and there's gonna be a lot of steam whistle.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that you gonna have what's the door gonna be, or is it gonna be all glass up front?
Well, it's all glass on one side, and then it's going to be a door to enter it.
That's fantastic.
Hey,
Big fan.
Are you gonna be able to open up like James? Are you gonna be able to open up and do the whole like Life of Brian?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You know, well, you gotta watch more TV.
No, man, no. I'm getting away from TV. I'm gonna fire my phone in the ocean.
Wait. Speaking of TV, have you guys watched Letterkenny yet? I know, Oren, you looked
Love
at
it.
it a little bit.
Love it.
James, you
I
watched
can't
it?
get it without
Yep.
paying for it.
You don't have Hulu?
It's like sex.
No, that's true for you. You don't have
Letterkenny's
Hulu?
amazing.
Letterkenny is fantastic. And I've been telling Oren probably for a year now that he should be watching Letterkenny.
Yeah, but I sent you that one video that my cousin Jihad
Yeah, but
sent
I
it to
don't
me.
even think you realized that was Letterkenny.
No, I didn't. I didn't. But the thing is, I know a couple of the guys. Like I know Terry Ryan and a couple of guys in it. That's the weird thing.
That's what I'm
Hold
saying.
on a second.
I'm telling you, you would love Letterkenny.
Stu, I've got something pretty cool for you. Do you like Bon Jovi?
I'm a Bon Jovi fan.
Oh,
Wait. Hang on a second. I don't like the way you guys are laughing, and I know you or Oren used the term Bon Jovi video earlier today as a negative.
hold on. Ready? Hold on.
Yeah, just do it. Let's see it.
Okay, you gotta speak up there when you're doing this.
Well,
Well, the show just went to
I
shit.
hope that guy enjoyed it. I hope he had fun with that. He looked like he was doing it intentionally, so I hope he did well with it.
Did I send you? Did I send you
Oh,
my
boy.
friend sent this to me. Hold on. You know, when I got this hat on, my phone doesn't recognize me.
I don't recognize you.
Like,
Yeah.
it won't
Punching
allow
your
me in.
security code like an idiot. What's wrong with you?
Ease up.
Let's
All right.
switch gears and talk about Tiger King.
Hold on. Before we go there, hold
Haven't
on.
seen it.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
hold on.
God, Stu. Whew.
I'm almost like anti-seeing it because everyone wants me to see it so bad.
No, you
Here.
need to see it. You
Here.
need to for your
Stu,
mental
this
health.
is for you later tonight.
That's
Just
called
read it
my
out to
wife.
your audience. Read it out to your audience.
No, let me tell you this. This is so So in case you're listening, Oren's holding up a fucking meme about a DUI checkpoint in the middle of your kitchen because of the quarantine. But I'll tell you this.
No,
look,
it's not because of the quarantine. Read it. Read it.
it is because of the quarantine.
Yes, that's why you're in your home and there's a checkpoint.
Because you would have
Everyone,
you would only have a checkpoint in your
please.
home, a DUI checkpoint in your home because of the quarantine.
Because otherwise, Oren would be out driving around bombed Las Vegas.
There's pylons in my neighborhood. I hit.
So you think?
It's like
No, let me tell you this. This is the worst thing is we have our security alarm set. We use Cox for our cable and our alarm system.
Say that again?
we use Bonch.
Is it true that your favorite
I
hockey
love
team is the?
Cox
Is it
for
true
my-
that your
my
favorite hockey
neighborhood
team
defense.
too is the Blackhawks?
We use Sphincter. Sphincter is specifically the camera that we use because it's like the best camera. But we use Bonch as our main, provider.
Cox
you
and
love
Bonch.
the cock for the defense. Hey,
Yeah.
everybody
Oh,
has
fuck.
a cock for defense.
Everybody needs good Cox security.
So my last name being Hawk, we could never have named our son Michael, right?
Michael Hawk.
Or if you shorten Michael as the standard nickname,
Mike Hawk.
I love it.
So I
Have you seen my cock? Where's my cock? Where'd my cock go?
Where did my cock go?
Where's my cock?
I would have done it. I would have fucking done that.
Oh fuck.
I learned how to fly with a guy named Michael Hunt, and that's not a fucking word of a lie.
Mike
I
Hunt.
love the guy. He's from Lewisport, Newfoundland. I love him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So boys, I'm in disbelief that Stu is not succumbing to the Tiger King. You're not letting it wash over you and fuck with
Myself
him.
and Sarah, though, just to be fair, just to stop you there for a second, we watched the first 2 episodes of Ozark last night.
Yeah, fantastic.
Ozark.
Yep. No, I do like that movie or the show, whatever. I like Jason Bateman. I just like him. But the Tiger King is cool. I'm 4 episodes in. Sarah doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's one
It's
of
a guy.
these
It's a
things-
guy movie. It's not a girl thing.
It's a train wreck.
Yeah. I've heard it's good. I wanted to watch the Chappelle thing. The Chappelle fucking winning the Mark Twain Award was fantastic. I don't know if you're a Chappelle fan, but
Love him.
What else? I fucking watched a couple other comedy specials.
Is it true that Chappelle gave up on like 60 mil to do that thing?
So Jon Stewart. So I don't want to give too much up on this, but So Jon Stewart was in the middle of giving Chappelle the Mark Twain Award. They basically had a bunch of comedians come up on stage and like honor him, right? And so he's like, Jon Stewart at the time was doing the Daily Show, and Chappelle was doing the Chappelle Show, and he was like, they offered Chappelle $52 million. If I remember it correctly, it was $52 million to do another season of the Chappelle Show.
Oh,
And Jon Stewart was like, fucking Comedy Central has $52 million. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's awesome.
But so he went bonkers, man. He went to Africa. He just, there's too much going on. So he said, fuck it.
Do you think he
told
kind of off
Comedy
this?
Central back up-
Did he
back
lose
off.
his mind?
No, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation.
Chappelle?
He hasn't even.
No.
Yeah.
He became clearer, man. To be fair to him.
Oh yeah, well when he came back, but like, why did he leave? I think is what James
What?
is asking.
Well, no, but did you ever watch that episode when he talks about like the whole censors?
Like laser sensors?
no,
Laser
like
beams?
like the
Dwarfs with
censors.
fucking
You,
lasers on their
you
forehead.
can't say things like the N word. I can't say the N word.
Nicaragua?
Yeah, no shit. you
Nicaragua.
can't say the N-word.
No, but if you watch his last episode, his last comedy thing on Netflix, it's he does a whole thing where he's in the office with one of the censors, and he basically tells her to basically fuck off, and it's very racially a lot of overtones.
Oh,
but watch it. That's all I'll say. Watch it. I mean, you know what I mean?
I just looked up. Chappelle's net worth is already 50 mil.
He could be worth more, but who gives a shit? I mean, he's
I
fucking
bet
fine.
he's worth more, but I also don't think he gives a fuck about it.
That's
Yeah,
what I mean.
I'm with
I
you.
don't
think he doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I like him. I like Dave Chappelle. I think he's, he's.
You know what I really
He's
like?
created-
I like the fact that the last 3 mornings I have made the most amazing breakfast sandwich in the fucking world.
And you had a big shit, and it looks like a
No, boys, thick cut. Listen, thick
Wait,
cut bacon.
we need that image for this podcast. We need to be able to plug that in at some point.
Oren, I know you're too busy playing with your vagine, but
You've been waiting to use that word all night. All night.
no, I'm saying that, Oren, because you've gone vegan completely. You don't like bacon anymore, and that's okay. But I do the thick cut bacon.
Plant-based. I'm not vegan.
The thick cut is where it's at, man. James,
You got it.
thick cut is where it's at.
Stew, 2 eggs, a little runny, toasted bagel. As the eggs are just about to be pulled off, I put a dash of cheddar cheese, a little bit of bullseye barbecue sauce. I cut that fucker in half. Little orange juice, maybe a grape or 2 on the side. It's
You
good.
put orange juice
Look, man.
into that bagel?
Yeah, right.
Unless you're willing to ship this shit down here, you can't be talking that kind of shit right now. That's not fair.
What's that?
That's not fair. You got to be, if you're gonna make this thing and you're gonna tell us about it and make us jealous about it, you got to be willing to ship it down here. Okay.
I wish I had it in front of me. I do.
Right now.
Like I said, Oren,
It's midnight.
why don't
It's
you go
midnight.
get a nice bean burrito or lentil
We're having,
soup?
you know what we're having tonight?
What?
We're having some potatoes in an iron skillet with cauliflower, and then we're gonna have some chips and guac, and
That's nice.
and a coleslaw with peanuts and apple.
Penis and apple?
A lot of penis.
Penis and apple. Penis and apple.
I can have a big schlong and some
Where
apple
do
on
you
the side.
source that? Like, where are you getting the penis? I didn't even realize that was like readily available.
I thought you gave up and eating meat. Oh, it's too good.
Ease
All
up
right,
there,
guys.
Tiger.
Hey, look, we gotta shut it down. It's been a hell of a conversation.
It's been good.
We haven't gotten anywhere. I mean, we started off really strong. I feel like we talked a lot about rock and roll. And we wound up basically talking about dicks and assholes mostly.
All of a sudden, James has a thing shoved up his ass. I don't know what the hell there.
Stu, we can attribute that to the quarantine.
Yeah. Look, we've all devolved a little bit, and there's no shame in that. But really, this may have been actually the better podcast that I've done so far. So, you know, kudos to you guys for being the most evolved guest that I've had.
Well, why? If we have a chance to get together again, why don't we all bring a breakfast sandwich to the event?
We should bring some sort of what our favorite quarantine food is.
Mm-hmm.
It could be penis and apples.
Warren loves it. Warren loves it.
And we'll bring our favorite beverage. It doesn't have to be beer. It could be you know, could be fucking mojito. It could be whatever.
Mojito.
Moscow Mule.
Mojito.
Boys, what sound does a mule make?
I like guacamole, and I also like hummus.
Oaxaca? What sound does a
Hummus.
mule make, James?
What sound does a mule make?
Eeyore.
That's weak.
Eeyore.
A mule would be like a.
I
James.
thought there was a
James,
joke coming.
James.
All right. And on that note, we're fucking done. I love you guys. It's a great podcast. James, it was fantastic meeting you.
You too, Stu.
Love you, buddy.
Thanks, man.
And this is my podcast. This is my podcast.
My dog has stolen my son's shoe and my wife's boots.
Is it
He's
a
a real.
Those are really like those are shit kicking lady boots.
When they're Blundstones.
So again, back to weed. Back to weed.
Blunt stones and sphincters.
It all comes back to it.
Be a name of a solid band.
Or an album. Or an album.
Sounds
That's
like
the
a
album.
sounds like a band out of El Paso. That's got to be like a Texas band.
Blundstones and sphincters.